Morning folks, Ragnarok Ranger from the Ragnarok Theory. Starting a bit of a jolly this morning from my house. Well, it takes a few minutes to get across to the old colony that's the nature reserve that I do a lot of my practice on really, and a few sleep outs. So just walking down Access Road at the minute. There's not much to see down here because one side of me used to be a caravan park that they built without permission. The other side of it is just all waterworks because there was a massive sewerage leak from the sewerage plant up the way there. You know, but behind me is a farmer's field. I guess a heck of a lot more interesting once the farmers come to work and start getting busy for you, because they are around here, they're proper hard working farmers. When it starts, you can be out here from crack of dawn, well 10 o'clock at night, working, so they proper put it in. And up the way, a couple of lasses have just taken a bit of spare land on there for horses. Now last time someone put horses on there, they just left them to get in a rate state, but these lasses down here every day, proper looking after them, so that's quite good. So, as we walk for today, probably it's only 3 miles today because I've got some online training I've got to finish for work, so I need to start knocking them off, and then obviously work. So on the way around today I'll take some little bits of footage to add on, have bits of the route, the more interesting bits, just a little montage, but I'm not going to film all the way around, it's just no point really. Okay, that's what I'm up to. What are you up to? So to kick you off, that's the road I've come up. You can see the works there that I'm on about. Farmer's field leading into woodland. Like I say, you can't really see that side. This used to be a really good place to walk and practice on. Then they came and fenced it off, started killing, murdering animals on it and stuff with the shotguns. But they haven't been for a while, and as you've seen, local people not accepting being blocked out of somewhere they've walked for years and years, just because some landowner decided to come and shooting ducks. Straight in front of me is the field where the horses are, probably in the stable, they've got the stable and everything. Yeah, so this is always beginning at walk. This access road leads us straight down to the colliery. There's two basic walks on here, one's 2 mile, one's from my house, it's 3 mile. But when you know these bits like I do, you can literally do 5 or 6 mile easily without having to think about it. So as I pass the horses there, they're already in there working this morning. The next bit of the walk is this access tunnel that goes into the colliery. Now it's funny because when you talk about weird traditions and superstitions and folklore, I've been coming on these pits for like 16 years and I always carry some kind of a stick. Wait a few long wheels can come through here, and I don't know why, but I've always kind of announced my arrival. And I filmed an intro here before, it was a good one, I might do something similar again. And then there's 2 more on here, and I hit them again. Then the same on the way out, and it's literally just my little way of announcing my arrival and leaving. Sometimes it dings. And that's it, you know, and you can go either way around. Yeah, I think the red route's the longest of the 2 main routes to do. I tend to come back up this track because all I'm doing today, all the way around the outer track. But this has been my stay fast for training for years. There's so many places that I know that most people probably never see on here, where I can go and took myself away for a bit of bushcrafting or survival training. It's really cool. So this is the main bridle way, spoilt in parts by the amount of horses now, because horses are allowed on it, but they've decided to commercialise it. The amount of people and horses in a group at a time is ridiculous, to be fair. It's a public bridleway, they're also blocking it, and they meant to stick to it, and I'll often catch them up on tops and stuff like that, where they're not meant to be. So do you know what I mean? They just take it mickey really, aren't they? Stick to where you're told. there'll be less of a problem. There are a few of these boards around. So Walton Colliery, I believe it used to be called either Charleston, so Charleston West actually. They call it Walton now, although we're beyond Walton's border here, we're actually in Crofton, so it stretches. That's actually a monument to some local councillor, and basically when you come, if you come around the main track, the way I'm going round there, it's up over there, up this one, yeah, because that's the main way around the lakes. So it's showing you the main routes, it's not showing you them all. Like in that bit of woodland there, we get a lot of fungi growing, which is quite interesting for learning purposes. I've actually purified water from there before and drank it, and I was fine. See where people are taking their horses to drink and people just run about on it while it's wet. We do get the swans and everything over here, we just don't get them as often at this side as you do at the other side. You probably won't see them from here, but that pine tree there gets some massive cones on it. Now this track here is a bit of a red herring because it looks like a track. It used to be. It used to go so far, then you couldn't get any further unless you knew what you were doing. Now, until all the water recedes, it's just flooded. You're not going to get more than 50 metres into that track. This used to be where the swans had its nest. You can see it remains of its nest over there, but again, kids have trashed it, so they've had to move. If you take this turn in here, you go up to that obelisk I was showing you, to that councillor. It's not our route today. We're going to keep following the horse poo basically around this main track. I don't know if they've blocked this tunnel off again, but you used to be able to get all the way through it and then straight up onto main Doncaster Road, but invariably keep blocking it off for some reason. You probably notice these little two signs everywhere guiding you along, showing you the black route from the red route and stuff, which is quite good. Now up there is where we often go for kindred blots. It's quite a big expanse up there, but people have just made that track. A lot of this used to be fenced off, but people won't be fenced off, will they? And they just want to walk, so a lot of dog walkers go around there now. And we're going straight on the end, round the corner. So yeah, if you were to come here from the car park at Shane Lane, which we will be going through, basically, if you stand with your back to the road and turn right and start following from there, follow these red chew signs, you will ultimately follow the path that I'm taking today, all the way around from the car park. If you go left, you'll be doing the same thing, but you'll be coming backwards. It doesn't get much more complicated. There is a bit of a chicane, but I'll film that spot for you so you know. This is the worst bit. This used to be accessible to prams and wheelchairs, right? And this is what the blooming horses have done. Problem is, it's a bridleway, horses allowed on bridleways, and it is the Wakefield on Wheels cycle track, and is it number 67, cycle route 67, something like that also comes through here. So how do you stop that? Believe it or not, at one point all these paths were made of like sandstone rocks and stuff and sand and tampered down, and it were all people on community service, not in the overalls basically, that were doing it. You see people just rip fences down. They make their own way through here. It's uncontrollable. Because they're not going to put rangers on a little place like this. Up the top there, I've been before. It does lead to railway. Strongly suggest it. Keep away from there because the homeless seem to take that over now and then. That gate's getting set on fire, that bench, by little hooligans. But as you can see, it is a pretty nice walk. And ever since COVID, more and more people are coming. That old sign there with the red square on used to be the old markers before they put these chew signs up. When I say chew signs, obviously I'm looking at the arrows, right? But in Anglo-Saxon tradition and runic tradition, Chew was a sky father, a sky god, and he represented the Northern Star. The Northern Star has been a way that people can find their way home when they're lost for many hundreds of years. So Chew represents the guiding star, and that's how runes are still being used today, and most people are asleep to it and don't know. Okay, we're not quite halfway around yet, but if you turn left at this post, it's the track that leads you back up to the obelisk again that I pointed out at the beginning, and rejoins the track where I were on it. And this is how you can start to see how it all intertwines, and you can get from one side to the other. There's a black Chew sign on that post. Again, some interesting bits up there. This bridge, you can go back along it and out through a car park, or you can go back down the side of the canal. Now they ripped it off, but I'm sure it's 67. Yep, 67. This is the only place when they're out that I found cranberries growing. There's a cranberry bush down here. Not at this time of year, but I've not seen them anywhere else. Just blasted about up there and we're just chatting since 3 days in a row with no rain at the moment. It's drying out quite well, and lately that you can't believe it. Just to the side is the canal where you can go fishing if you've got the pass and the licence. Oh, that's one. Lovely. 2 swans. There you go. Here's a pair. They've moved over here then. That bridge, this can all lead back to the lake. That side leads to the canal. I have done a video a long time ago, it's not available anymore, of collecting, purifying and drinking water from here with me and a lad who used to come out with, and basically we didn't die, but it is a bit mucky. Yep, they had that even with heads in the water. Hello, cocker. Hello, cocker. No. I'm going to say a lot of them won't, will they? You got to try, hadn't you? But it's like I say, she's a rescue dog. She'll bark and jump round near you, but she ain't going to hurt you, and she ain't going to do anything else. That's clearly no horses are meant to go up there. That's the best place to go, just round there you can feed the ducks and the Canadian geese and stuff. Up on tops is a different matter. It's not as well signposted. Again, you get a lot of runners. So that's the way to the best place to feed ducks. It's showing the blue route up there. There is a decent track goes over it. It's just it splits up to lots of little trods that over years have been made that are not actually on the map. That map that I filmed earlier is not a true representation of ground round here. So if you've never been, just be careful. You can cut off 100 metres if you want by cutting through that muddy path. That noise of the train, unfortunate, at both sides of here are train lines. You can see some Canadian geese onto the bank there. All the fishing spots are down that side. See where the lady's walking. If I'd have gone over the bridge, that's the way I'd have been coming down. So you got the geese honking, got the horses in the field, the outlet from the fishing lake into the fishing canal. We're not going that way today, but at some point I may do a short video where from here I do some other bits, I don't know, you know. For the main bit, you're following Cycle Route 67 and you're going to come to another lake anyway. Never trust Labour. Tell me about it. So there's your fishing lake from this side. You can get down on the side of banking. I collect my meadow sweet from there. Meadwort, land nettle. To be fair, a couple of routes down back of there. This is the other main water body here. So where the rushes are, right over the back, it goes way further back there, up in the trees. You've got to be careful if you're out back of there. You've got to know where water is. You don't actually get as much waterfowl on here. We don't really come feeding them here that much. We used to do. There used to be an 8 team of ducks, and they've just dispersed now. There's hardly any left. They've all moved on the pond by the looks of it. So Heath, 2¼ miles, Heath just up top of Heath Common, and Royston's 5 mile if you follow this trail. Loads of piles of rocks and stuff all buried there. I love that piece of land, it looks like a perfect natural auditorium for teaching. Cut through that track, go through to the other side of that lake. These up onto the tops again. I guess we used to find the deer prints up there, but the deer seem to have been put up in here. All this all been murdered by poachers. Something else running up there. You get a lot of runners on here. Now this, they keep clearing all the trees off here to where they seem like they're not going to come back again now. And there's Menarchus up there. I don't know if you can see the rocks there. One of my photos I've used for a long time was taken by called Snake Rock, because with the kind of shrubbery that was around here, you used to get a lot of grass snakes. I'm wondering if that's why, because it back maybe loads of kids start getting little nips off them, treading on them and stuff. Okay, when we get to the around this corner, you can double back again up the other side of the lake. Another thing that grows up there in abundance are them, you know, little tiny alpine strawberries, little tiny ones. Well, spring, summer, they grow up there in abundance. Now you can cut across there. It can be a bit boggy, but it depends on your reasons for being here. If you want the solitude and the greenery, that way it's fine, because not as many people do it. But if you're wanting to use your walking as exercise, well, this kind of walk I do at the moment. I don't want to be training every day with my condition, so I know I can burn 350 calories off in an hour just wobbling around here. So there you go, there's a track junction. The only downside of going up there is when trains come past, you're literally next to the line. Now if they're electric, they're not as bad, but they spent millions of pounds electrifying all these lines, and I would say 80% of them that come are diesel. Right, we're going straight down this path that'll lead to car park. I'll film a bit there, but there's a gang of people coming who probably don't want filming, and I'm not one of them idiots. Loads of piles of rocks and stuff all buried there. I love that piece of land, it looks like a perfect natural auditorium for teaching. Cut through that track, go through to the other side of that lake. These up onto the tops again. I guess we used to find the deer prints up there, but the deer seem to have been put up in here. All this all been murdered by poachers. Something else running up there. You get a lot of runners on here. Now this, they keep clearing all the trees off here to where they seem like they're not going to come back in now. And there's an arcus up there. I don't know if you can see the rocks there. One of my photos I've used for a long time was taken by called Snake Rock, because with the kind of shrubbery that was around here, you see a lot of grass snakes. I'm wondering if that's why, because it might maybe loads of kids start getting little nips off them, treading on them and stuff. Okay, when we get to the around this corner, you can double back again up the other side of the lake. Another thing that grows up there in abundance are them, you know, little tiny alpine strawberries, little tiny ones. Well, spring, summer, they grow up there in abundance. Now you can cut across there, it can be a bit boggy, but it depends on your reasons for being here. If you want the solitude and the greenery, that way it's fine, because not as many people do it. But if you're wanting to use your walking as exercise, where this kind of walk I do at the moment, I don't want to be training every day with my condition, so I know I can burn 3,500 calories off in an hour just wobbling around here. So there you go, there's a track junction. The only downside of going up there is when trains come past, you're literally next to the line. Now if they're electric, they're not as bad, but they spent millions of pounds electrifying all these lines, and I would say 80% of them that come are diesel. Right, we're going straight down this path that'll lead to car park. I'll film a bit there, but there's a gang of people coming who probably don't want filming, and I'm not one of them idiots. That's just inspiring at all, the kind of people well over the 70s, all out for a walk together. Awesome. I'm just going to do a quick bit here, because this bit of stream that comes all the way down here gets full of at least 2 different kinds of water mint during the year. The bridge is gone now, useful to get across there. But yeah, the water mint that grows here is edible. You don't have to be careful if you're going to pick anything. You know what it is, don't take my word for it. I test, I don't just pick, even if it looks like something I've had before. Still going to look in my book or use an app, still going to test it. A little collie up there. I kept my stick down, but she walked straight into it and it was like wood on wood. So this is telling you all about the nature park. Go slowly so you can pause it and read it if you want.
Morning.
Morning. Just on my walk down here, there's been 4 trains gone past. That's how busy this line is at the minute. And here's the car park. If you're wanting to use it, you have to get here early, as it just gets bunged. The marked bays have almost disappeared anyway, but even so, people ignore that there's no parking on the edges like this. I think they should put a line of parking in there, coming back the other way, meeting the other cars, and have 3 lines. Would make a lot more sense than just parking on the edge where no one can get. If you're parking back that way, you get like another 7 or 8 cars on here. There's a space over there. That's unusual. So where we're at now, if you go over the little bridge there, you can back up onto the tops that keep going in and out there, which we're not on today. Or you can double back to your left, and where I said you can go across if you like the greenery, this is where it brings you out. So you are in Shea Lane car park here, and there's a few bits and bats up for you there. I'm not sure if there's not even a map in that thing. The dog training area across there now. I've also used to bog off and I could rent that land for myself. Little picnic area. I'm just going to film that a little bit longer here, because I had a couple of things worth looking at here. 2022 Platinum Jubilee of the good Queen Elizabeth. And as much as I appreciate that they've done this, Charleston West, yeah, it says there. All the other old pit heads around here have got a massive pit wheel in them, and all they could do here was put this little small one. Right, in probably the best nature park around Wakefield. This is a few, but this is better. It's better than Rabbitings. It's better than all of them, to be fair. Anyway. The only one for the coal that I don't think should not be better is as you get up to near Lingwell Gate and outward. There's a memorial up there for some lads that died in mines, I believe. Anyway, we'll go this way over the bridge and out onto the road, and we're back to basically just following the outer track, and this will ultimately just lead us back to the entrance and to back down. There you go. If you're an horse rider, it clearly tells you your routes concessionary, right? So if enough people report you for breaking the rules on here, they will take it off you and you won't be allowed to bring your horses on. So stick to the path, stop being clowns. All down this side, in a couple of months we'll be picking cherries off trees and eating them. Lots of cherries grow down here, lots of apples grow on here, slowberry grows on here, elderberry, cranberry. You know, we've got a good source of food on here for survival situations for sure.